Alright, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome in if you're new. In this video, we're going to be talking about PulseChain. Are you ready? Because this thing's about to launch probably within the next few days, at most probably by the 17th, 18th of July. I'm personally not exactly sure when, but we got an official announcement here on PulseChain Twitter that the sacrifice phase starts this next week. So, if you like this kind of content on PulseChain, leave a thumbs up because let's be real, this is really the most interesting thing happening in crypto right now. So be subscribed by the end of the video if you aren't by now. And let's talk about a few things. We're going to start off with showing you guys that there is historical precedent to this sort of event. For those of you guys who are kind of like confused or think this is the first of its kind, in a lot of ways it is, but we have historical precedent on something similar, which was the Ether sale. So I have an entire video on this. This was actually the first video I made on PulseChain, so check that out. I'll leave a little link here so you can watch that first if you haven't by now. And it pretty much just outlines what I'm going to be reviewing right now here. I won't go as in depth as I did in that video, but just a quick little review. The Ether sale had a similar time curve, right? It had a similar bonding curve in terms of time, where it started off for the first 14 days where you could sacrifice your BTC and you'd get 2,000 ETH per BTC. And again, that lasted for 14 days before declining, where you'd get only 1337 ETH per BTC. And then that was for the remaining, 28 days, because the whole phase itself lasted 42 days. And so we don't have the full specs for what the bonding curves are going to be for Pulse itself. However, those specs, once they're ready, they'll be found on PulseChain.com. So make sure you keep this bookmarked and make sure you're going to the right website and get your updates from here. We'll get our full specs on what exactly the bonding curve will be, like how many pulse per USD, because everything is going to be denominated in US dollar, I believe. And so you'll get your time curve of how many pulse per USD. I believe that's going to be for the first 3 days instead of 14 before we get a ramp down to some other ratio, which pretty much just says the earlier you get in, the better, assuming a static BTC in the Ether launch sale example, right? Earlier the better, assuming a stable Bitcoin. So it'll be the same thing really. The earlier the better, assuming a stable USD, which the US dollar is more or less stable. So if you're just going to sacrifice stables, then day one 100%. If you're going to sacrifice literally anything else other than stablecoins, then by sacrificing day one, you are definitely getting the best deal in terms of the time curve, most likely, but you're not speculating in that sense on the price of the asset that you're sacrificing. So again, I go way in depth in that video saying, like, if you want to speculate on the price of what you're sacrificing, let's say you want to sacrifice Ether, you think Ether's going to pump harder than the time curve is going to, slash your actual coins you're getting, then sure, you might want to sacrifice on day whatever, like further into the sac phase. But I think if you want to play it safe and you don't want to speculate really on the coin you're sacrificing, then day one just makes the most sense. All right. So with that said, we have historical precedent in the sense that this whole sacrifice phase, we've seen it before. People could sacrifice their BTC and get Ether return. In this case, people can sacrifice whatever they want. That's going to be on that list. Again, full specs are going to be on PulseChain.com as to what coins you can sacrifice. And yeah, you'll be able to sacrifice any of that and get your PLS. So the precedent is there, and we've seen the price performance of something that had a similar launch mechanism. All right, so if we take just a simple date and price range from this point in time, August 3rd of 2015, probably near the time mainnet actually launched, right? July, August of 2015. Started at $3. I did the math in that previous video of the Ether sale, and it turned out if you sacrificed your BTC for ETH, you would have effectively been getting your ETH at 30 to 50 cents per Ether. So once mainnet launched, since it was $3, right, it makes sense that some people would want to take profits. Some people were up 6 to 10x, and so that's why you got this green candle that brought us down to a wick of 15 cents, where at that point pretty much everyone was in the red. So it makes sense that it would pump back up until people earn profits and so on. It seems to have found a local bottom at 41 cents, which makes sense because it was the average of, the effective USD price during the BTC to ETH Ether sale. So maybe something similar happens with Pulse, where if you do the math and find out what your average entry was, like US dollar per Pulse, then we might see something similar where the starting price, maybe it's higher, maybe it's lower, but regardless, I think it'll converge to maybe like a local bottom at around the sacrifice value, if that makes sense. Yeah, leave a comment if that makes sense. All I'm really trying to say is, if, for example, on average, if you, let's say, sacrificed every single day for your Pulse, and then you average out kind of the price of the Pulse, I think that's going to be a significant level in the sense that we might see a local bottom there on the price chart after mainnet launch. And so we saw that here. Like I was saying, you could have gotten, just by sacrificing your BTC to ETH, you could have gotten your ETH at around 30 to 50 cents per ETH. And we found a local bottom at around 41 cents, which is smack dab in the middle, where you're pretty much break even. So at that point, there's like not much to do other than buy, because why would you sell to just break even, or just for like a 10% gain or whatever, or even like a small loss? Why would you do that? It makes no sense. And so at that point, we saw an absolute tear, right? Absolute tear from 41 cents all the way to $1,500, right? You guys remember that. So that's over a 3,000x, man. That's over a 3,000x. And if you count from the very bottom wick, then you're talking about a 10,000x. But we'll be conservative and say, well, maybe we just get like a 3 to 4,000x. Now, for Ether, it happened over the course of 2 years. However, we've seen that things can perform faster. So we don't know if Pulse will reach the same kind of appreciation of 3,000, 10,000x. We don't know if it'll do it in 2 years, in a few months, and maybe longer. We'll see. But if your time horizon, if your investment horizon is a year, 2 years, you might want to get in on this. Not financial advice, just your generic disclaimer for this video, just pointing out what I see in the charts, the similarities here. So again, make sure to keep updated on PulseChain.com. We actually just got this today, I think. It says the sacrifice phase will start within the next few days. Have no expectation of profit from the work of others. Awesome. Yeah, so just be ready. A few things you should probably do to get ready is go to metamask.io if you don't already have a software wallet. I've gotten a bunch of questions on how to integrate your hardware wallet into the sacrifice phase. And to be completely honest, I'm no expert on that. You might want to go into t.me/hex security and talk to those guys about it. I'm sure they're more experts on hardware wallets. But if I'm not mistaken, I think you can use MetaMask as a front end for your hardware wallets. So yeah, go to t.me/hex security if you want to know more about that. And yeah, just to kind of finish off on the Ether sale, the address itself, sorry for just like clicking around, but they called it the Exodus address, right? And if you take a look at how much Bitcoin it received, it's on the order of about 31.7 thousand Bitcoin, which currently is around, what is that, like $1 billion or so? Back when it was actually sacrificed, it might have been less. It actually was less. I think it was closer to like $20 million or so. So yeah, but that was a different time when Bitcoin was the only crypto, and it wasn't worth as much as it is now. Now crypto is obviously way bigger, and we're going to be able to receive a whole list of coins into the sacrifice address, which I think we'll see more than $20 million enter the sacrifice phase, sacrifice lobby, whatever you want to call it. Definitely not calling it sacrifice chamber. But yeah, I actually have a whole video on that as well. kind of projecting and speculating on the amount of capital that'll enter the phase. So I'll leave that here so you can check it out. And it was simply based on a Telegram poll, and we kind of got some estimates of anywhere from $180 million to $1.6 billion of capital potentially entering. So go to metamask.io, make sure you got your software wallet ready to rock, make sure you have it. And yeah, just a fun note, kind of to end off the video, is that the PulseChain Telegram group, which you can find at t.me/PulseChain.com, actually has 23,460 members in it already, which that's a lot, man. That's a lot. It just flipped the Hex Crypto chat by a few members. So that's really amazing. It just kind of speaks to the amount of demand ready and waiting for this project. It's going to launch in just a few days. So exciting times, man. Like, this could be the opportunity of a lifetime. You know, I'm not trying to be a hype man here, but this could be the opportunity of a lifetime. You saw what Richard Hart created prior to this with Hex, and you saw how much it appreciated, even if you didn't like Hex, right? You saw how much it appreciated, and to miss out on another one of his creations, which it's a beast too. I think it'd be silly. So with that said, let me know. Are you ready? Do you wish there was more time? I'm just ready. I'm ready to rock. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think PLS will appreciate as much as Ether did? More maybe? How quick do you think it'll do it? Do you think it'll take the same amount of time or less? I'm very curious to know what your thoughts are on that. But yeah, go and hang out in the PulseChain chat. There are thousands of people online at any given moment, as you can see, and there are usually like 30 to 100 people in the voice chat at any given moment. So yeah, just make sure you're ready. That's really what this video is for, is making sure you're ready, following the right accounts, right? At Richard Hartwin on Twitter, or at PulseChain.com on Twitter as well. At PulseChain.com on Twitter, and go to t.me/PulseChain.com for the Telegram group, PulseChain.com for the website. I just want to make sure you have all the correct websites, because the actual phase, once it launches, will be confirmed across multiple channels. So make sure you confirm it, right? Stay safe. Don't fall for any of the fake stuff out there. Make sure everything looks legit. If you're, skeptical or suspicious in any sense, triple, quadruple check. Even checking with members in the chat has been helpful. They'll point you in the right direction. So thanks again for watching. Appreciate you. Leave a comment on what you think. Leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't by now. And yeah, I'm excited. I hope you are. And I'll catch you in the next video. Maybe Pulse is launched by then. Maybe. So maybe Sacrifice Phase is live by then. So yeah, with that said, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.